The worst thing about influencer marketing for small businesses is that the fancy software is way too expensive. Rich Influencers solves that problem. Now your small business can find, engage, and manage micro and nano influencers, the ones that you can afford to work with. And Reach Influencers cost as low as $100 per month. It's kind of incredible. Go out and check out capturetheinfluence.com/podcast and see it for yourself. Find, engage, manage, influence with the software built and priced for your size business. It's capturetheinfluence.com/podcast. LinkedIn believes B2B marketing can be B2 brilliant, B2 bold, and B2 breakthrough. How? With a platform purpose-built to make B2B marketing mean more for your business. A platform with tools to help you build better relationships with your key customers, to boost your buyer's journey while building your brand. A platform with trusted data and lead generation you need to beat your KPIs, drive ROI, and stand out amongst the competition. And with the targeting tools on LinkedIn, you can reach your precise audience right down to their job title, company name, location, and more to make sure your ads are always seen by those who matter. So let's get ready to be too boldly go where no marketer has gone before, because LinkedIn is where B2B is everything it can be. Rethink your B2B marketing ads and get $100 credit on your next campaign. Go to linkedin.com/MPN to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/MPN. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome to Digital Marketing Dive, a podcast where we explore the depths of online marketing. I'm your co-host, Olivia.
And I'm Seth.
And together, we'll be talking with marketing industry vets and giving you our own takes on everything happening in the space. So, let's dive in.
Hey gang, welcome to episode 9 of season 3 of Digital Marketing Dive. Today we have a great guest, Darryl Praill of Agorapulse on the show. Darryl recently took up the helm of CMO in March, right? Was it March-ish?
Yeah, March 11th.
Ooh, so beginning of March. So you had almost the full March. Before that, you were the CRO, the Chief Revenue Officer of VanillaSoft. Now, in addition to that, he's a top 10 2020 SaaS branding expert. He's the top 3 marketer on LinkedIn. I remember when you were going for that. It was all over the peak community, like, vote for me, vote for me, vote for me.
Vote.
So that
I need affirmation. Please vote for me.
if you want to look at all his accolades, go to his LinkedIn page. They're all listed because, like any good marketer, you got to kind of show that you have the chops.
You got to build a brand, baby.
It's a brand, exactly. Welcome to Digital Marketing Dive, Darryl.
Episode 9, season 3. Like, I love it. This is awesome.
Yeah, I can't believe we're 3 seasons into this sucker. So anyhow,
That's pretty wild.
so tell us your backstory. Who is Darryl?
Oh, Darryl's a knob. I mean, you should know that by now. Darryl is 54 years old, went to school to be a computer programmer, finished school, thought that sucked, and then he took his first sales job selling photocopiers door to door in business parks for 6 months, and then realized, no, you thought that sucked? That really sucked. Went back to coding for 5 years, and then said, okay, enough of that coding thing, and I went into product management, then to product marketing, then to marketing, then sales and marketing. And so over the years, I have been multiple times head of sales, multiple times head of marketing. I've been a CRO. My love is marketing. And that's kind of me in a nutshell. I've been lucky enough to, I've raised $100 million in VC. I've taken 2 companies public, sold 2 companies, been fired once. My biggest claim to fame is I've only been fired once. And anybody who listens to me and my very politically incorrect statements wonders how it's only once. So there you go. That's Darryl.
There you go.
Yeah. So Seth touched on this a second ago, but you recently made a transition from
Yes.
the CRO at VanillaSoft to the CMO at Agorapulse. I would just like to hear a little bit about what a transition was like, how you're fitting into the role, how's it all going for you?
Sure. So the question I normally get asked is, Darryl, help me understand. You went from being where you own sales and marketing back to just owning marketing. Like, what the hell were you thinking, dude? You had the ultimate power, and now you give up sales. And that was a choice. I'd been at VanillaSoft for 5 years. I'd done everything I needed to do there. So as far as I was concerned, I had accomplished my mission. And candidly, I was bored.
Uh-oh.
And when you're bored, that gives you the chance to kind of be a little bit, I can discriminate on the options I want. I wasn't looking to change jobs out of necessity. Let's go with that. And Agorapulse came knocking, and I'm like, I looked at it, I'm going, well, I could go, but I get to go back to my love, which is marketing. But more than anything, I'm like, what's going on in the world right now? So I'm like, okay, well, it's January 6th. So where's that conversation take place? Social media. Okay, well, there's Joe Rogan. Well, where does that conversation take place? Social media. Well, there was Brexit. Where does that take place? Social media. There's a heat wave going on in Europe. Where does that take place? Social media. Everything was going on social media. And I'm like, that's the epicenter of everything. I want to be there. And then I really needed to up my Instagram game. So I thought I can go there and they would teach me. So it was the 1-2 punch.
What? Have they taught you?
No, that's the funny part. So I've been there 5 months. 5 months now. Ask me how much marketing I've done. I've done 0 marketing. Now, we've made a dramatic shift in the marketing team. So every single marketer out there thinking you want to be a CMO, I'm going to let you in on a secret, or even a VP of marketing. Here's the secret. When you get to that level, you do 0 marketing, or you like 10% marketing. The rest, if it's all people. So
it's a lot of HR
I was
stuff.
hired. It's all HR stuff. It's all about coaching and accountability. And do we have the processes in place so we can scale? And it's data. It's communication. Oh my God. It's communication, communicating up, communicating down. It's telling your stakeholders what's going to happen and making sure they're bought in so that when, shit hits the fan, they're a part of it. I mean, it's because anytime you change something, shit's going to hit the fan. I remember sending a message not too long ago saying, okay, remember I said I was going to do this? Well, I'm doing this now. So if somebody comes to you and they complain about me or they're threatening to quit, you knew, and they're like, nope, it's cool. Change is good. This is why we hired you. Go. So it's all about that, getting buy-in. It's all, and hiring really good people. So that's what I've been doing. And what a change. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. First 3 months were stressful as hell, but now I'm having fun.
Hey gang, want to take a quick break, thank our sponsor, and get back to the show. LinkedIn believes B2B marketing can be B2 brilliant, B2 bold, and B2 breakthrough. How? With a platform purpose-built to make B2B marketing mean more for your business. A platform with tools to help you build better relationships with your key customers, to boost your buyer's journey while building your brand. A platform with trusted data and lead generation you need to beat your KPIs, drive ROI, and stand out amongst the competition. And with the targeting tools on LinkedIn, you can reach your precise audience, right down to their job title, company name, location, and more, to make sure your ads are always seen by those who matter. So let's get ready to B2 boldly go where no marketer has gone before, because LinkedIn is where B2B is everything it can be. Rethink your B2B marketing ads and get $100 credits on your next campaign. Go to linkedin.com/MPN to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/MPN. Terms and conditions apply.
So what is Agorapulse for those people who have been living under a rock?
If you've been living under a rock, Agorapulse is a social media management tool. The biggest people we would compete with, because maybe you've got a little sunshine, are companies like a Hootsuite or a Sprout Social. We're kind of at the top 3 players in the social media management space. Why would you use us? Well, you can use a native app. You can go on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or LinkedIn or YouTube or TikTok. And you can do all those things one at a time with different apps and try to manage all your notifications. Or you can use a single app that allows you to schedule your posts, monitor for certain mentions, listen for certain people and comments and keywords, respond, all within one platform. That's what it is. That's why you'd use it.
You've practiced that, haven't you?
I have never said that before. No one's ever actually asked me
Wow, that was very, very well done.
Yeah.
You can clip that out
I
and
used to-
reuse that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's your pitch
There you
speech, kids. Go.
Yeah, I used to work as part of a marketing team, and our social media person brought Agorapulse to the team and just was an evangelist for the product. Really, really loved it, and I knew it kind of revolutionized the way that we had that workflow there. So very
That is
familiar with the product. It's doing great things.
that is so. Here's the one thing that one of the biggest reasons that beyond it being social media that drew me to the company, Agorapulse has the most diehard loyal fans. We're not as we're not as much of a household term like a Hootsuite is. Hence why they hired me. But they have the biggest ambassador program and followers. That's the first part. Second part is marketers. You guys will love this. I've got like 6 people on my team who are on their own amazing evangelists. They know how to live stream. They know how to shoot video. They know how to edit. They know how to talk. They're connected. So like I joined an organization and I'm like, I'm not the only mouthpiece. And I'm not having to convince a company the importance of doing this. So it's been so cool to go in and have these evangelists on the bench that I can just deploy. That's been amazing.
I think that's a credit to the product that you have those people that get so behind it. Yeah, that's great stuff. So we're talking a little bit about social media. You are somebody that obviously you have the number 3 top marketer on LinkedIn, but I'd like to hear like what sort of social media do you enjoy using? Where do you maybe see the future of social media going? Just your thoughts on that.
Sure. So a couple things. So for me, I am a huge Twitter and LinkedIn user. My Instagram game sucks, which is why I was hoping to get taught on that. I have an account. It's got like 2 or 3 or 4 posts. And since I've moved to Agorapulse, this is the funny story. My Instagram followers have gone through the roof and I've done nothing. I posted nothing, which is the fickleness of social media. So LinkedIn is my professional network. Twitter is where I hang out with all my homies and just talk sports or politics or work. I do Facebook casually. That's private. I keep it just for me and my immediate friends and family. So it's Twitter and LinkedIn. Yeah, that's
Facebook's
where
tough.
I'm at. Facebook is tough. And if I were to open it up, I would open up a separate account. In fact, funny story on that.
Don't tell Zuckerberg.
Back to the future. No, I won't. But my son, talk about Facebook. My son is a news journalist on network television. And one of the first things he had to do, in fact, he's got the Twitter verified check mark that I don't have, and he never lets me forget that. The first thing he had to do was he had to change his whole Facebook profile and go like change his name and everything because people were trying to stalk him and go after him nonstop. So Facebook is the wild west. Oh my gosh, yes. The future of social media. That's the thing. It is changing dramatically by the days you're seeing. I mean, TikTok now, what is it, the number 2 search engine in the world? I mean, how fast did that happen as one example of social?
Usurped YouTube.
What's that? Yeah, you usurped YouTube. It used to be number 2. Yeah.
I know.
It's crazy. And that happened like within like maybe 2 years max kind of thing. I mean, it's changing the way how we work. It's changing how we interact. It's changing the content we make, right? And people are all trying to figure it out. So it's still the wild, wild west. And the biggest thing you're seeing in social media, you saw this with the whole January 6th thing and politics, is all the controls around privacy and what's censorship and what's not, as well as the use of bots. So that continues to be a big challenge for the social media platforms. But for the marketers out there, social media, bar none, is the best performing channel. And too many marketers aren't viewing social media as a channel. You will view pay-per-click as a channel. You'll view trade shows as a channel, but you view social as a branding exercise or a comms exercise. It's not. It's a channel. And you're seeing that because more and more they're talking about dark social. That's the greatest stuff, right? But dark social, it just means you can't attribute it, which goes back to social media. So you're going to see social media from a marketer's point of view become way more attributable, way more measurable. That's the biggest thing we're seeing happen right now. And the last thing is you're going to see from the practitioner point of view how social media people are going to be hired like sales reps are hired, which is they're going to be looking at not just the tools but how did you contribute to the company revenues? So you're going to see that change dramatically. That's me prognosticating, Olivia. Agree? Disagree? What do you think?
No, I mean, I think that those are all really good points. And yeah, I mean, I think that just as far as companies not really seeing the numbers with social media, I think that is going to be something that will start being a little bit more metric focused and analytical going If you're not there, if you're not doing that, you're going to be kind of left in the dust.
It was so interesting because I was just on a webinar. I'll do some name dropping very quickly with Lee Oden of Top Rank Marketing and with David JP Fisher, and he's a sales legend. And both of them, when I asked them, said they require marketing to be uber active on social to give them air cover for when the reps are working into the account. So there's name brand recognition. And they weren't talking to me about email marketing. They weren't talking about pay-per-click. They were like, it's about relationships and we need marketing to give us the air cover. So you're seeing a shift in the revenue teams and how they approach social. So I think it's pretty cool. That's a dramatic shift from where we were even 2 years ago.
It's incredible, yeah. And so you're also a prolific podcaster too, aren't you? I mean, you have your sales podcast. You also
inside sales.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it Inside Social now? Did you change it, or is it Inside Sales?
It's inside sales because you want to get
sales,
inside
right?
in the inside sales function. Exactly. Yeah, we're coming up on episode
great.
200.
Oh wow!
So we're planning our big. The last time we did this at episode 100, we had a big swing ding and we had guests and whatnot on. So now we're trying to plan what to do on episode 200. And I was just thinking that you two should host the show and really, kick ass and make me look good.
You will do whatever we can.
I mean, that would be very easy to do.
Yeah.
So I love it. So yes, I do a lot of podcasting. I do a ton of live streams. I've been live streaming for way too long, for decades, almost it feels like, and webinars and whatnot. But it all comes back to video. Why do I do it? So honest to God, how did I get into this? I got into this because I had no marketing budget. So I knew that social media is free and making content is free and making video, if I've got a phone, that's free for the most part. So that's how it all began. The live streams, the social media, the podcasting, it was really about creating content to get found to compete with the companies who had more budget.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So if I was a small business that was maybe looking to dip my toes into social media marketing as a real strategy, let's say that I haven't really had much presence before, it's been something I've backburnered, what do you think would be the first thing I should focus on?
Okay. So this is going to give you a marketing answer, right? So the first thing you want to focus on is you want to understand your ideal customer profile, your ICP, and then your persona, right? So you could be a small business, so maybe you're a B2B small business or a B2C small business, but you need to know who you're selling to. I'll give you an example. Agorapulse, when I got there, was consistently only selling. They were selling into like marketing agencies. That was one of their biggest ICPs, and they were selling to what we call the technicians, the social media managers. Yeah. But that was it. Essentially. And one of the things I said is you also have to sell to the executives, the CMOs, the VPs of marketing, because they're the ones who control the budget. So you have to change your content strategy and your approach to social. And that's why you would see me on shows like with Lee Oden or David JP Fisher, because those are people that persona would listen to and hang out with. So if you're just starting out, understand who you're trying to reach, and understand what they care about. What are their issues? What are their objectives? What are their goals? What are their pain points? What are they fighting with right now? That's really relevant, right?
Yeah.
So again, maybe if I was in the travel and tourism industry, I'd be making a lot of content about airport delays and how to work around it. Or I'd be talking about, the COVID policies on cruise lines as an example and how that affects me or not. So because that's the pains that travelers are dealing with. So just get out there, understand who you're talking to, and then just make content. And you're all going to struggle on what content to make. And what I tell everybody is you're on the phone, you're on video calls all day long with your prospects or your customers, and they're all asking you the same questions over and over again. So make content that preempts those questions and proactively provides advice and answers. And that it's as simple as that.
Yeah, I think that's a great answer.
That's a fabulous answer. There you go. So Darryl, because I'm going to be conscious of our time here, where can people, we know you love LinkedIn. I mean, I see you on LinkedIn constantly. Where else can people find you? I know you're a board member of Peak, which is a great marketing community. I know you're active in Pavilion, right? I think I found you over there.
I'm
right?
on Pavilion. I'm not a board member, but I'm active on Pavilion. I'm active on Rev Genius. I'm active on Peak, of course, where I am a board member.
It's a fun community.
It's a fantastic community. If you're an aspiring CMO or you're an existing CMO, that's the place to go. I'm also active with the First Sip Coffee Club, which is put on by Matt Hines and Latney Kanan of Sixth Sense. Another great community to be involved in. So big in the communities. But yes, LinkedIn or Twitter. And then if you wanted to go check out an old website that with me before I ever had a beard with old content, you can go to
I did notice that.
darrylpraill.com.
I did. I was like,
Yes.
yeah. I was like, whoa, Darryl without a
Whoa,
beard.
that's what he looked like. Yeah, I know. He looked younger. I don't think I've updated that in 5 years, but it's amazing the traffic it still gets. And you can still see my tweets there, and you can submit a question, and I'll respond to you in almost real time. So
There you go.
Yeah.
He doesn't
or just
sleep,
subscribe to the
everybody.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Inside sales.
Look at that. You could be a guest on it. You've got it down pat.
I'm trying.
We'd rather have Olivia, but that's an aside.
No, Olivia's better. I agree. I always prefer Olivia. There you go. So Darryl, we have you
Too
on.
kind, Seth.
I try. We have you on LinkedIn. We have you at darrylpraill.com. We have you all over the web. Darryl, this has been so much fun, and I'm glad that we finally got to meet face to face. We've been friendly on social media all over the place, but I'm glad to actually meet you face to face finally. So thank you so much for being on the show.
If you guys ever want to be affirmed, follow Seth. He is such an encouraging individual, funny guy, helpful guy, but I love his feeds. I love it online. I love he's great on Twitter too. So I have said before,
shucks.
thank you,
Now I'm
brother.
blushing.
Oh, I'm serious.
There you go.
Yeah, I can definitely attest to that. Very lavish
absolutely.
with the praise, Seth.
He
There you go. I
is
try.
good. He is good for the soul.
Oh, great. Seth Goldstein, good for the soul. On that note, I think we're going to sign off before I faint out of all this praise.
Hey, that's it for today's episode of Digital Marketing Dive. Our show was edited and produced by Seth Goldstein, with a little help from me, Olivia Ciccini. We are so thrilled to be part of the MPN podcasting family. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast wherever you're currently listening to this podcast. And if you like what you heard, drop us a review. It really helps us a lot. Until next time.
Goldstein Media hopes you have enjoyed this episode. This podcast is one of the many great shows on the MPN Marketing Podcast Network.
This podcast is heard along the Marketing Podcast Network. For more great marketing podcasts, visit marketingpodcasts.net.